Zombie Lane is a zombie survival, neighborhood rebuilding game originally developed by Digital Chocolate and released in 2011. The theme mixes action, light RPG progression, and casual simulation. You fend off zombies, clear debris, plant crops, craft makeshift weapons, like shovels and guns, and work toward rebuilding your destroyed neighborhood after a zombie apocalypse. It had a humorous, cartoony aesthetic rather than a gritty horror vibe, and tasks ranged from killing zombies and harvesting food to completing missions tied to an overall questline. During its active period, Zombie Lane was available on Facebook as a browser or social game, iOS, iPhone, iPad, Android devices through app distribution. The game was originally free to download and play on its supported platforms. This included the mobile versions that could be downloaded from app stores at launch. Zombie Lane was not designed to be a true offline game in the strict sense, especially on Facebook and its mobile variants. It had online elements, social integration, and energy mechanics. It is widely reported to no longer be officially available through Facebook or mobile app stores, meaning the original versions are not supported or officially playable anymore. Some unofficial browser, emulated versions or APK downloads claim to let you play something called Zombie Lane for free in a browser, but these are not the original supported versions and may not reflect the full game, and they aren't verified official releases. Players started with minimal gear, like a shovel, and had to clear rubble and restore the neighborhood, grow crops for energy and resources, fight waves of zombies, which got tougher over time, craft weapons and gear, complete missions, some tied to finding your family or unlocking new areas. The vibe was casual and quirky. Reviewers at the time complimented its style and gameplay loop even if it wasn't hugely innovative. Blood and Glory is an offline Android action fighting game with a cinematic style and a focus on intense one-on-one combat. Designed for players who enjoy visceral melee battles without relying on online connectivity, it combines simple controls, physics-driven attacks and brutal animations to build a satisfying gladiatorial experience. At its heart, Blood and Glory puts you in the role of a lone warrior battling a succession of opponents in arenas that change visually as you progress. The game's world feels inspired by classical gladiator arenas mixed with fantasy elements, dusty coliseums, ominous ruins, and blood-splattered stages with torches, skulls, and cheering crowds. While the narrative is minimal, the game's tone is unmistakable. Every fight is about survival, domination, and glory earned through combat prowess. Combat in Blood and Glory is intentionally simple but satisfying. Swipe gestures control attacks. Swipe forward for a standard hit. Swipe left or right for directional attacks. Swipe up to block or counter. Swipe down for a powerful overhead strike. These swipes translate into responsive, fluid animations. The game rewards timing and precision. Blocks and counters can turn the tide against stronger enemies. Defense isn't passive. Successful blocks reduce incoming damage and open windows for punishing counterattacks. Skilled players learn enemy patterns and use well-timed blocks to interrupt attacks, creating dynamic exchanges rather than repetitive button mashing. Opponents are varied, with different combat styles. Fast attackers who rush forward with rapid combos. Heavily armored foes with slower but stronger swings. Mixed move enemies that feint or change attack angles. As you climb higher in difficulty, enemies react quicker, block more intelligently, and require sharper responses. This ups the challenge without introducing overly complex controls. Unlike many mobile games that push microtransactions, Blood and Glory retains a primarily offline progression loop. You earn rewards, such as new weapons, armor, and cosmetic upgrades, by winning fights and completing arena milestones. Items provide stat boosts like increased attack damage, enhanced blocking effectiveness, higher health or stamina. This progression feels meaningful. Each new gear piece visibly changes your character's silhouette and makes tougher opponents more manageable. For an offline mobile title, Blood and Glory pushes notable visual fidelity, realistic character models, detailed arenas with environmental flair, dynamic particle effects for blood, sparks, and dust, Animations are fluid, giving a sense of weight to every strike and block. The camera framing often zooms in at key moments to emphasize heavy hits, making fights feel cinematic. Sound reinforces the brutality. Metal clashes with satisfying clangs. Grunts, impacts and death cries add intensity. Background music is dramatic and adrenaline-charged. While dialogue is minimal, ambient audio pulls the player into each arena. You can almost hear the crowd roar. One of the game's biggest strengths is true offline play. You can enjoy it anywhere without requiring internet access, which is perfect for travel, limited connectivity, or simple uninterrupted play sessions. The learning curve starts gently but ramps up as enemy AI improves. This keeps the game engaging without feeling unfair. Players who master the controls find a rhythm in combat, even against bosses with unpredictable patterns. Swipe-based controls are easy for beginners to pick up, yet layered enough to reward timing and strategic defense. There's no clutter of virtual buttons, making the interface clean and responsive. Here's what many players appreciate about Blood and Glory: offline playability, no constant internet required. Intuitive combat, simple swipes, deep outcomes. Rewarding progression, gear feels impactful. Cinematic feel, visuals and sound enhance immersion. Satisfying feedback loop, grow stronger through skill and gear. The game doesn't overcomplicate things with sprawling RPG systems, enormous maps, or multiplayer obligations. It stays focused. You fight, you win, you grow stronger. This laser focus on combat makes it perfect for short sessions or longer playthroughs. If you're looking for a fast-paced, action-packed shooter you can play anytime, anywhere, even without internet, then let's talk about Major Mayhem 2 on Android. Yes, this game can be played offline, so no Wi-Fi? No problem. Major Mayhem 2 is a side-scrolling arcade shooter developed by Rocket Jump Games. It's the sequel to the original Major Mayhem, and it improves almost everything: better graphics, more weapons, more missions, and smoother gameplay. You play as Major Mayhem, a muscle-bound action hero on a mission to stop the forces of evil across multiple locations around the world. The gameplay is simple but satisfying. Your character automatically takes cover, and your job is to tap enemies to shoot them. It's easy to learn, but the challenge ramps up quickly. You'll face waves of enemies, explosive barrels, helicopters, and even boss fights. The pacing is fast, and missions are short, perfect for quick gaming sessions. There are over 50 missions spread across jungle environments, deserts, and even snowy landscapes. Each stage rewards you with cash and gear. One of the best parts? The weapons. You can unlock and upgrade pistols, assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and heavy weapons. Each gun has different damage, fire rate, and reload speed. Upgrading your gear is essential because enemies get tougher as you progress. There are also armor upgrades and special abilities that help you survive intense firefights. And here's the big advantage: you can play this game offline. Once downloaded on your Android device, you don't need an internet connection to enjoy the missions. That makes it perfect for travel, commuting, or just saving mobile data. Visually, the game uses a colorful, cartoon-style design. It's not realistic, it's exaggerated and fun. Explosions are dramatic, enemies fly through the air, and everything feels like an over-the-top action movie. The sound effects and music also match the chaotic action vibe. If you enjoy arcade shooters, simple controls, weapon upgrades, and offline gameplay, Major Mayhem 2 is definitely worth trying on Android. It's free to download, easy to pick up, and delivers quick bursts of action anytime you want. So if you're ready to lock, load, and blast through enemies, give it a try. Dead Trigger is a zombie-themed first-person shooter developed by Madfinger Games, originally released for Android and iOS in 2012. Even today, it remains one of the classic zombie shooters on mobile. The game drops you into a world devastated by a zombie outbreak. You play as a survivor completing missions across a ruined city, rescuing other survivors, securing supplies, and of course blasting through hordes of undead. The gameplay is simple but satisfying. move through different areas, complete objectives, and survive waves of zombies while earning money to upgrade your gear. One of the biggest highlights of Dead Trigger is its console-like graphics. When it was first released, the lighting, zombie animations, and weapon effects were impressive for a mobile game, and they still hold up surprisingly well. The sound design also adds to the tension. Every headshot and shotgun blast feels impactful. The game offers a variety of missions, including story missions, side missions, and survival-style challenges where you fight off endless waves of zombies. As you progress, you unlock a wide arsenal of weapons like pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, and even powerful explosives. This constant upgrade system keeps the gameplay addictive as the zombies become tougher and more numerous. Another great feature is that Dead Trigger can be played offline. That means you can enjoy the campaign and missions without needing an internet connection, which is perfect if you want a solid zombie shooter to play anywhere. Of course, the game isn't perfect. The story is fairly basic, and over time the mission structure can start to feel repetitive. There are also in-app purchases, though they're not strictly required if you're willing to grind for upgrades. Overall, Dead Trigger is still a fun and accessible zombie FPS on Android. If you enjoy shooting games, upgrading weapons, and surviving waves of undead, and especially if you want something you can play offline, this classic mobile shooter is definitely worth checking out. If you're looking for a unique mobile game with humor, style, and strategy, Devil's Attorney is definitely worth checking out. Originally released in 2012, this turn-based strategy game puts you in the shoes of Max McMahon, a slick and morally questionable defense lawyer whose main goal isn't justice, it's money, fame, and a fancy lifestyle. The game is set in the 1980s, and it fully embraces that era with funky music, flashy suits, and a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor. Gameplay is surprisingly clever. Instead of traditional combat, courtroom battles work like turn-based strategy fights. You use different legal tactics, like interrogation, ridicule, or persuasion, to attack the credibility of the prosecutor, witnesses, and evidence. Each move costs action points, so you have to plan carefully if you want to win the case. Between cases, you spend the money you earn decorating Max's apartment. Buying new furniture isn't just cosmetic. It unlocks new courtroom skills and upgrades your abilities, adding a light RPG progression system to the game. The game includes 58 cases, multiple prosecutors to face, and different difficulty settings, so there's a decent amount of content for a mobile title. One big advantage is that Devil's Attorney works completely offline, making it perfect for playing during travel or when you don't have internet access. Another highlight is the humor. The dialogue is packed with sarcastic banter and ridiculous courtroom arguments. The game is clearly inspired by courtroom dramas and pop culture lawyer stories, with a style that feels like a comedic parody of legal shows and games like Ace Attorney. Overall, Devil's Attorney is a fun mix of strategy, comedy, and retro style. The battles can become a little repetitive after long sessions, but the witty writing and unique concept make it stand out among mobile games. If you enjoy turn-based games, courtroom drama, or just want something different on Android that you can play offline, this one is definitely worth a try. Strikefleet Omega is a mobile space strategy game developed by Harebrained Schemes. It mixes tower defense and real-time strategy, where you command the last surviving human fleet after Earth has been destroyed by alien forces. Your mission is simple: defend your fleet and fight through waves of enemies while searching for the alien Hive Queen. Gameplay is easy to learn but surprisingly strategic. You control different types of ships like fighter carriers, bombers, artillery ships, and mining vessels. Instead of moving ships directly, you draw flight paths for your fighters and choose when to deploy reinforcements, which creates a unique mix of planning and fast reactions during battles. One great thing about the game is that it's free to play, and you can enjoy most of the content without spending money. The game uses two currencies: a normal currency earned from missions and a premium currency called megacurds. What's nice is that megacurds can still be earned during gameplay by destroying special enemy ships, so patient players can farm them instead of buying them. Another plus is that the game can be played offline, making it a good option if you want a strategy game on your phone without needing a constant internet connection. The campaign gradually unlocks new ships and upgrades, keeping the gameplay fresh, and there's also a survival mode where you fight endless waves of enemies for high scores. Overall, Strike Fleet Omega is a simple but addictive space strategy game. It may not have the most advanced graphics, but its unique control system and satisfying fleet management make it stand out among mobile strategy games. If you like strategy, space battles, and games you can grind without paying, Strike Fleet Omega is definitely worth trying. What if you mix tight platforming, roguelike elements, and retro pixel graphics into one fast-paced tower climb? Tower Fortress, a challenging action platformer that's simple on the surface, but surprisingly intense once you get going. First up, the controls. This game feels tight, movement is responsive, jumps are precise, and shooting feels immediate. When you die, and you will die, it's rarely because the controls failed you. You get double jumps, wall jumps, air dashes, depending on upgrades, precise mid-air adjustments. The hit detection is solid, and the character momentum feels controlled, not floaty. For a vertical platformer, that precision is critical, and Tower Fortress delivers. The entire game revolves around climbing a deadly tower. Each run is procedurally generated, meaning, room layouts change. Enemy placements vary, loot locations shift. This keeps the gameplay fresh even though the core objective stays the same. Climb higher, survive longer, defeat bosses. Runs are quick. You can jump in for 5 to 10 minutes and feel satisfied. That makes it perfect for short gaming sessions. Tower Fortress is hard, but it's mostly fair. Enemies telegraph attacks. Bosses have readable patterns. Damage feels consistent. When you lose, it usually feels like you mistimed a jump. You got greedy. You rushed a room. That's good design. The game punishes mistakes, not randomness. There is some RNG in weapon drops and room design, but it rarely feels unfair. A big plus, Tower Fortress can be played offline. No internet required. No forced online connection. No pay-to-win systems. That makes it ideal for travel, commutes, areas with weak internet. The game is straightforward. No complicated menus. No bloated systems. Just gameplay. Now for the downside. The game is a bit short in overall scope. There aren't tons of environments. Enemy variety is decent but limited. After multiple clears, you may start recognizing patterns. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but hardcore players may wish there were more long-term progression systems or additional modes. The pixel art style is clean and atmospheric. The tower feels mysterious and slightly oppressive. Animations are smooth. Effects are sharp. The soundtrack fits the mood, tense but not distracting. It's minimalist but polished. Tower Fortress is tight and responsive. Fair but challenging. Fully playable offline. Quick and addictive, but a bit short in content. If you enjoy roguelike platformers with precise controls and fast runs, this is definitely worth trying. It's simple, focused, and mechanically solid, which sometimes is exactly what a game needs to be. Colossatron, Massive World Threat is a mobile game developed by Halfbrick Studios, the same studio behind popular titles like Fruit Ninja and Jetpack Joyride. But unlike those games, Colossatron puts you in the role of the villain, a massive robotic alien snake sent to destroy cities around the world. The core gameplay is simple but surprisingly unique. Instead of directly controlling the monster, you manage its body by attaching colored power cores, red, blue, and yellow, while it automatically moves and destroys everything in its path. These cores act as weapons and abilities, and combining them creates stronger attacks or new effects. For example, mixing colors can produce special modules like healing drones or powerful weapon systems. What makes the game interesting is the mix of arcade action and puzzle strategy. While the screen fills with tanks, bombers, and explosions, your job is to quickly place the right modules to keep the Colossatron alive and powerful. Matching cores and building the right combinations becomes a fast-paced strategic challenge rather than just mindless destruction. The game also features upgrades and gadgets that unlock as you progress through different countries. These upgrades add new abilities, allowing you to customize how your mechanical monster fights the military. Another big advantage is that the game can be played completely offline, which makes it convenient if you just want to pick it up and play without needing an internet connection. Visually, the game has a bright cartoon style and a humorous tone, with a fictional news team reporting on the global chaos caused by your rampage. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and that adds to the fun. However, the game does have some downsides. When the screen fills with too many enemies and projectiles, the game can sometimes slow down, especially during intense battles. The gameplay loop can also become repetitive after long sessions, and because you don't fully control the monster's movement, some players may find the lack of direct control frustrating. In terms of monetization, the game is fair but grindy. You can unlock every upgrade and item without spending a single cent, but it will require time and consistent play to earn enough resources. Overall, Colossatron is a creative and addictive mobile game that blends puzzle mechanics with chaotic action. It may not have endless depth, but its unique concept and fast gameplay make it a memorable experience, especially for fans of classic mobile games. Final verdict: a fun and original mobile game that lets you become the ultimate world-destroying machine, offline, fair to free players, but a bit grindy over time. If you're looking for a fast-paced action game you can enjoy anytime, anywhere, Hunter Run Adventure delivers a surprisingly solid experience, especially for players who enjoy long-term progression and intense combat. Hunter Run Adventure is not a side-scrolling platformer. Instead, it plays from a third-person perspective, putting you directly behind your hunter as you charge forward into dangerous territory. The focus isn't on jumping over spikes or sliding under traps. It's about combat, positioning, and surviving waves of enemies that get tougher the longer you play. The gameplay is smooth and responsive. Movement feels fluid, and attacking enemies is satisfying, especially when you're surrounded by hordes of tough opponents. As stages progress, enemies become stronger and more aggressive, forcing you to upgrade your character and improve your strategy. It's less about reflex platforming and more about endurance, power scaling, and combat efficiency. Visually, Hunter Run Adventure features good graphics with detailed environments and solid character designs. The third-person view allows you to appreciate the battlefield, whether you're fighting through dark zones, open fields, or intense combat arenas. Enemy variety adds visual diversity, and seeing large hordes rushing toward you increases the sense of pressure and action. One of the game's biggest strengths is the variety of game modes. Instead of repeating the same mission format, you get multiple ways to play. Different modes bring different challenges, whether it's survival-style waves, special objectives, or escalating difficulty runs. This keeps the experience fresh and gives players multiple paths to grind and improve. And yes, the game can be played offline. You don't need a constant internet connection to enjoy the full gameplay experience. That makes it ideal for travel, downtime, or areas with unstable connectivity. Now let's talk about progression. Hunter Run Adventure is very grindy. Advancing your character, unlocking upgrades, and strengthening your abilities takes time. You'll need to play consistently to build up resources. However, the system feels fair. You can earn what you need by simply playing. There's no heavy paywall blocking progress, just steady grinding and dedication. That grind-heavy but fair balance is what gives the game long-term appeal. Every run contributes to growth. Every upgrade makes you stronger. And every tougher wave of enemies becomes a test of how much you've improved. Overall, Hunter Run Adventure is a third-person action runner with good graphics, multiple game modes, offline support, and a progression system that rewards patience and effort. If you enjoy fighting hordes of enemies and steadily powering up through pure gameplay, this is a game worth checking out. Royal Revolt. One of the most underrated strategy games on mobile. If you've never played it before, Royal Revolt flips the usual tower defense formula. Instead of defending your castle, you're the one attacking. You play as a young prince who returns home only to find your kingdom taken over. Now it's your job to reclaim your throne, one castle at a time. What makes this game stand out immediately is its good graphics. Even though it's an older mobile title, the visuals are colorful, polished, and full of personality. The castles, troops, and battle effects still look impressive today. The art style is bright and cartoonish, but detailed enough to make every battlefield feel alive. And let's talk about the music, because it's great. The background soundtrack has that heroic medieval vibe that really pulls you into the action. When you're charging toward enemy gates with your troops behind you, the music makes it feel epic, like you're leading a real army into battle. Now gameplay. This is where Royal Revolt shines. The controls are simple and responsive. You draw paths on the screen to guide your troops, trigger spells at the right moment, and time your pushes carefully. The gameplay feels smooth and satisfying. There's no complicated control scheme, but there's enough strategy to keep things interesting. You need to choose the right troops, upgrade your defenses, and plan your attacks smartly. One of the best parts? Offline mode. Yes, you can play Royal Revolt without an internet connection. That makes it perfect for travel, low data situations, or just relaxing without worrying about online matchmaking. And here's something a lot of players appreciate: it's fair. While there are optional purchases, you can unlock and upgrade items simply by playing the game. If you're patient and strategic, you can earn everything through gameplay. No paywall stopping your progress. Overall, Royal Revolt delivers good graphics, great music, smooth gameplay, offline accessibility, and fair progression. It's a classic mobile strategy experience that still holds up today. If you enjoy strategy games where you lead the charge instead of just defending, Royal Revolt is definitely worth revisiting.